You didn't stumble here, you were summoned. This is your moment, and deep down, you already know it. Something in your spirit has been stirring. You've been sensing the shift, feeling the urgency, seeing the signs all around. And now, this message is meeting you right where you are. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. You've been marked for more. You weren't created to just exist, to follow the crowd, or to live a quiet life of spiritual survival. You were chosen, set apart, to awaken, to stand, and to rise in the midst of a world unraveling. There's something inside you that refuses to settle, something bold, something holy, something fierce. That is your calling coming alive. Let me speak directly to your spirit. The reason life has felt intense lately, the reason you've felt out of place, the reason you've been walking through fire, is because you're being positioned. You're not late. You're not crazy. You're not disqualified. You're exactly who God is calling right now. You are part of a remnant that cannot be bought, silenced, or swayed. And heaven is calling your name. So take a breath, chosen one. This is not the end of your story. It's the ignition point of your purpose. From this moment forward, nothing will be the same. You're about to see with new eyes, feel with new discernment, move with divine authority. You've been hidden, but now you're being activated. Lean in, open your heart, engage fully, because what you're about to step into isn't just information, it's transformation. And if you're ready to walk in the power you were born with, then let's begin this journey together. The season you're in might feel unusual, even isolating, but that's only because you've been marked for something different. There is a spiritual sensitivity growing in you, and with it comes the realization that what's happening around you is no accident. These are not random times. This is a pivotal hour in history, and the shaking all around you is not just chaos. It's a divine wake-up call. Patterns are repeating, and those who are awake can feel the urgency rising beneath the surface. What was once tolerated now feels intolerable. What once felt distant now feels immediate. There is a holy unease stirring the hearts of those set apart. You are not here by accident. If you feel the pull, the knowing deep inside that you are chosen, this is your moment. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to unlock deeper insights, exclusive content, and a path that aligns with your divine purpose. This isn't just a contribution, it's a declaration, a step toward who you were meant to be. Answer the call, walk with us, and step fully into your destiny. Your journey begins now. This generation has slipped into a trance of self-worship, consumed with momentary pleasure and shallow gain. People wake up chasing distraction, measuring worth by status, glorifying rebellion under the mask of freedom. Conscience is being silenced, truth traded for trends, and darkness repackaged as light. Morality is mocked. Integrity feels like a foreign language. And yet, there are still those who feel the shift. The world says, live loud, but your spirit says, walk deeper. You've noticed it. The disconnect, the moral unraveling. And you know in your bones, this isn't just culture changing. This is a warning unfolding. And while most laugh off conviction and scroll past correction, a few are tuning in. Not to the noise, but to the whisper. To the pull of something sacred, ancient, and undeniable. You've felt it, that inner knowing that things are not just off, they're accelerating. But you're not here to panic, you're here to prepare. You haven't been awakened to be afraid, you've been awakened to build. Not everyone will understand why you've started guarding your time, shifting your priorities, pulling away from what's popular. It's not about superiority, it's about assignment. Some are called to float with the current. Others are chosen to become anchors in the storm. And while many are dancing through distraction, you've been drawn to clarity. That's not a coincidence. That's a calling. You've been entrusted with spiritual foresight. Where others see entertainment, you see erosion. Where others celebrate chaos, you sense consequence. And though it's lonely at times, you were never meant to fit where compromise thrives. You were meant to stand where truth still matters. You were wired not for conformity, but for confrontation with darkness, not through argument, but through alignment. This is a preparation season, one where the unseen work matters more than what's broadcast. Just as a structure's strength is determined by its hidden foundation, your obedience in private will preserve you in public. You don't need applause to be effective. You don't need recognition to be ready. The real shift is internal. It's about what you're carrying, not what you're showing. What's being built in silence will speak loudly in the days ahead. And when things begin to unravel further, and they will, those who have been preparing in stillness will not be shaken. They'll be steady. While confusion spreads, they'll walk with clarity. While the world unravels, they'll remain rooted. That's you. Not because you're better, but because you responded when others ignored. Because you chose the path of depth instead of noise. Because you surrendered when others sprinted. So if your journey feels misunderstood, let it. If your path feels narrow, walk it anyway. If the weight feels heavy, carry it with purpose. You weren't built for the crowd. You were built for the moment when truth needs a vessel and courage needs a voice. You're not out of place. You're right on track. Keep preparing. Keep watching. Keep building. Not for applause, not for approval, but because you were entrusted to see what others can't. And that kind of calling doesn't just visit anyone. It finds the ones willing to stand when it's not popular and speak when it's not easy. You are not being delayed. You are being made ready. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Build anyway. Believe anyway. Obey anyway. You are not just a listener. You're a discerner. You've been wired to sense what's off, even when the world calls it normal. That inner pull, that stirring in your spirit when something sounds polished but lacks power, that's not skepticism, it's discernment. And right now, that discernment is needed more than ever. This isn't just a confusing era, it's a deceptive one. Truth hasn't gone missing. It's been buried beneath layers of comfort, performance, and flattery. But those who carry real clarity can still find it, hold it, and live it. Everywhere you look, illusion is dressed as insight. People don't want to be challenged. They want to be coddled. Correction is rejected, and conviction is rebranded as cruelty. People cling to voices that mirror their desires, not the voice that calls them higher. Principles are now optional. Convictions are negotiable. And the louder someone shouts, the more they're believed. Never mind if what they're shouting is hollow. We've entered a time where truth is seen as outdated and deception is welcomed because it feels good. Even spiritual spaces aren't immune. Where once there was depth, now there is polish. Messages are trimmed down until they barely confront or convict. The cost of commitment is hidden beneath slogans, and the cross is often replaced with comfort. You weren't made for that. You weren't called to follow the crowd, blend into the background, or repeat what's popular. You were shaped for something harder and holier. Truth is a burden not everyone will carry. It doesn't stroke the ego. It won't win popularity contests, but it sets captives free. And that's why you carry it. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Your life is not random. It's an assignment. In an hour where confusion is celebrated, your clarity is defiant. Your decision to stand, speak, and stay rooted in conviction disrupts more than you know. Don't be surprised when resistance shows up. That's how truth has always been met. The voices that warned in previous generations were ridiculed before they were remembered. And yet they spoke, and yet they stood. That's your legacy too. You're not just another voice. You're a line in the sand. When you live truth, you expose the lie, and not everyone can handle that exposure. Still, you were not made to soften your message for comfort or dress down your calling for convenience. You're not here to cater to itching ears. You're here to reflect a standard that doesn't change with opinion. Even if you're the only one in the room willing to say what's real, say it anyway. Even if it isolates you, hold the line. Even if it costs you the crowd, cling to the call. Real truth has weight. It doesn't shout, it anchors. It doesn't parade, it protects. And most of all, it doesn't change based on who accepts it. When you walk in truth, you walk with purpose. When you speak truth, you carry a piece of something eternal. This isn't just about having the right words, it's about living a life that confirms them. Let the world twist and spin and redefine. Let the lines blur, but let your life stay sharp. Let your walk be clear. Let your message be unwavering. Because truth, at its core, is not a theory. It's a presence. It's not just information. It's transformation. And that's what you carry. You are not here by accident. If you feel the pull, the knowing deep inside that you are chosen, this is your moment. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to unlock deeper insights, exclusive content, and a path that aligns with your divine purpose. This isn't just a contribution, it's a declaration, a step toward who you are meant to be. Answer the call, walk with us, and step fully into your destiny. Your journey begins now. Stay vigilant, stay grounded, stay bold. You are not alone, and you are not misplaced. You were born for this kind of hour, one where deception is dressed up as wisdom, and clarity is treated as rebellion. Your voice still matters. Your conviction still shakes things. Your truth still carries light. And light, no matter how small, always breaks the darkness. When others turn numb, you remain soft-hearted. And that matters more than ever. You've been assigned a rare task: to keep your love alive in a time where so many have let theirs die. You've probably felt it already. The rise in cold shoulders, closed hearts, and short tempers. Division is treated like loyalty. Compassion is mocked as weakness. Forgiveness is optional. All around, walls are going up, and bridges are being burned. But while many retreat into bitterness, you are called to love more, not less. You are here to be the contrast, the fire, the proof that warmth still has a place in a freezing world. The world is unraveling in anger and noise, but you don't have to mirror it. You're not built to match chaos. You're built to resist it. While insults trend and patience runs thin, you're learning how to bless when it's easier to curse, how to forgive when it's tempting to hold on to hurt, how to stay open when the world tells you to shut down. That's strength. Not soft, not weak, sacred. You were chosen to carry a kind of love that doesn't flicker when storms come, but shines brighter in their midst. You've noticed how shallow affection has become. Many love for convenience, not commitment. Many disappear at the first sign of difficulty. But the love that's been placed in you isn't momentary. It's built for endurance. It can't be cancelled or controlled. It's not based on feeling, but on truth. That kind of love can't be manufactured. It's cultivated through pain, through surrender, through being misunderstood and loving anyway. Let your grace speak louder than their hate. Let your kindness interrupt the cycle. Let your presence shift the temperature of every room you walk into. Not because you preach love, but because you are love in motion. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. Choosing not to walk away when others do. Choosing to still believe the best. Choosing to keep your light on in a world that's turning off. And yes, it gets lonely sometimes. Radical love often stands by itself. But that's when it makes the most impact. The warmth you carry may not always be welcomed, but it will always be remembered. People forget words. They remember how you made them feel. Let your fire remind them that not everyone turned cold. You weren't called to echo what's popular. You were called to be a force of healing where damage has been done. You may not be able to fix everything, but you can carry something that mends, love that holds steady, love that listens, love that doesn't quit, love that doesn't make sense in a world ruled by offense. So don't let your flame dim just because others have given up. Hold it higher. Guard it closely. Let it grow hotter as the world grows colder. There's more at stake than you know. You were made to disrupt division with presence, to replace suspicion with grace, to outlast bitterness with joy. You're not reacting to the world. You're rebuilding it, one act of real love at a time. The war is no longer hidden. It's all around us in plain sight. What used to whisper behind closed doors now screams from every screen. The unseen has stepped into full view, and the battle for hearts and minds is happening in real time. You've likely felt it, not just observed it, but felt the pressure, the heaviness, because this isn't just cultural, it's spiritual. It's not just opinion, it's warfare. And you weren't left here to watch from the sidelines. You were equipped for this. Every image, every headline, every trend isn't just entertainment, it's influence. And much of that influence is rooted in confusion, distortion, and distraction. Darkness no longer hides. It performs, and it performs well. Deception now wears designer clothes, speaks fluent relevance, and markets itself as progress. Meanwhile, clarity is labeled narrow, and purity is seen as outdated. But you see through it. You were given eyes to perceive what's beneath the surface. And now that the masks have come off and the lines are no longer blurred but boldly crossed, it's your moment to rise, not to panic, but to pray, not to retreat, but to respond. You weren't just saved to be safe, you were set apart to fight. This fight isn't waged with outrage or opinion. It's waged with spiritual precision, with prayer that breaks chains, with fasting that brings revelation, with truth that cuts through confusion. And you carry that. Whether you've been aware or not, you've been trained in silence, disciplined in dark seasons, prepared when it felt like nothing was happening. But something was happening. You were being armed. Don't let this moment pass you by. You're not powerless. You're not small. You are the response to the strategy of the enemy. You are the one that disrupts cycles, silences lies, and brings light into systems designed to confuse and corrupt. You carry weapons the world cannot see, but they are real, and they are effective, and you do not fight alone. Heaven backs you. You've been aligned with a purpose far greater than comfort. So stand tall, speak truth, stay rooted. The storm is loud, but you were built for impact, not retreat. While the world drifts further into deception, you are becoming a fixed point, unshaken, unmoved, and absolutely vital. This is your time. Walk like you know it. Fight like you believe it. Because you were not created for the shadows. You were made to bring war to the open and walk in undeniable victory. Many are drifting, but you are anchored. That's not by accident, it's by design. You've felt it happening all around you. People slowly stepping away from truth. Hearts once burning, now flickering. Passion replaced with passivity. What was once sacred is now seen as optional. But while some surrender to the current of culture, you've chosen to plant your feet. The shift in the atmosphere may be strong, but your spirit is stronger. You've been through too much to turn around now. There's a subtle collapse taking place, not loud, not sudden, but steady. Places that once stood for eternal things now bend to temporary applause. Conviction is repackaged as criticism. Depth is traded for popularity. What should pierce hearts is now wrapped in fluff. But you weren't trained in comfort. You were refined through pressure, through silence, through seasons where no one saw your fight but heaven. That kind of fire doesn't burn out when others grow cold. It burns hotter. You held the line when others loosened their grip. You didn't bow when the noise grew louder. You didn't trade obedience for applause. And that's what sets you apart. You were made for endurance. You weren't molded to shine for a season. You were forged to last. While many chase platforms, you've been preparing altars. And the time is coming when the difference will be undeniable. Everything that's tried to break you was really shaping you. The isolation wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The battles weren't just attacks, they were assignments. And now, when many are stepping back, you're stepping forward. Not because it's easy, but because you know who called you. You don't blend because you weren't created to disappear. You're still standing because you're built to finish. The road you chose isn't the wide one, but it leads somewhere eternal. So when the masses drift, don't follow. When the message changes, stay rooted. When truth is diluted, let your life remain bold and unshaken. You've been entrusted with something weighty. Carry it, even if you carry it alone. Hold your ground. The falling away may intensify, but your assignment remains the same. Stay awake, stay ready, stay faithful. Because when others forget, you remember. When others let go, you hold fast. You're not one of the many, you're one of the faithful. Control is being redefined, not with chains, but with comfort. It's not coming as force, it's arriving as convenience. The world is gradually sliding into something deeper than change. It's stepping into a structure designed to mold behavior, track movement, and silence resistance. It doesn't feel threatening at first, but that's the deception. What seems helpful today becomes a trap tomorrow. And for those who are paying attention, the pattern is impossible to ignore. Systems are being built that go beyond policy. They touch your identity, your access, your ability to exist freely. The tools are already in place. Technology that monitors, platforms that censor, networks that shape thought. This isn't speculation, it's structure. And slowly, the freedoms that once felt firm are becoming fluid. A world where everything you own, everything you need, is connected to a system that can say yes or no based on what you believe, how you speak, and who you follow. The setup isn't dramatic, it's strategic. It's not crashing in. It's being woven into normal life, normalized by repetition, made appealing by ease. But underneath it all is a battle for loyalty. This isn't just about tools, it's about trust. It's about who you belong to when everything is on the line. But you weren't made to panic. You were made to perceive. The alarm in your spirit is not fear, it's discernment. While many still sleep, you've already seen the undercurrent. While the world celebrates speed, you're watching the strings. You don't need every detail to see what's rising. You feel it. And more importantly, you were prepared for it. What's ahead isn't about resisting a device. It's about refusing to surrender your devotion. The pressure may rise. The options may shrink. But your allegiance is sealed. You carry within you a compass the system can't break. A truth that doesn't bow. A loyalty that doesn't shift. So when the lines blur, don't waver. When the crowds comply, don't compromise. You were given wisdom for this moment. Eyes to see what others won't. A voice that's been sharpened by silence and refined by warfare. Use it. You were born for resistance, not surrender. You are not here by accident. If you feel the pull, the knowing deep inside that you are chosen, this is your moment. Click the super thank you button and give $50 or more to unlock deeper insights, exclusive content, and a path that aligns with your divine purpose. This isn't just a contribution, it's a declaration, a step toward who you were meant to be. Answer the call, walk with us, and step fully into your destiny. Your journey begins now. And even as the system expands, so does your strength. You're not exposed. You're equipped. You're not vulnerable. You're under divine protection. The pressure may intensify, but so will your power. The world may try to intimidate, but your anchor is unshakable. You've already decided. No matter the cost, you won't conform. Stand firm. Speak truth. Live free. You are not just watching history. You are fulfilling prophecy. And no system, no mark, no method of man will shake what has already been sealed inside you. You were chosen for this time, not to fade into the crowd, but to stand as a witness that cannot be silenced. This isn't the conclusion. It's the beginning your spirit has been waiting for. You've been walking with expectation, with your heart pressed against eternity, sensing a moment your eyes haven't yet seen, but your soul has already rehearsed. You knew something bigger was coming. Not a theory, not a myth, a reality more real than anything this earth has offered. You weren't just surviving time. You were preparing for the shift beyond it. It won't come with warning headlines or official announcements. No countdown clock. Just a sudden turn in the eternal script. Swift, unstoppable, and glorious. In a moment that defies logic and breaks through the veil of the ordinary, everything will change. And while the world scrambles for reason, you'll recognize the sound your soul was built to respond to. Not confusion, not chaos, but confirmation. That sound will break the silence of generations, one note from the courts of heaven, signaling completion, redemption, and return. And with it, the remnant will rise, not in fear, but in fulfillment. The physical will give way to the eternal. Everything worn, weary, and wounded will fall away, and what remains will shine with the radiance of glory you were always destined to wear. You've held fast while others gave in. You kept your eyes forward when distraction screamed from every direction. When hope felt distant, you still chose to believe. That wasn't wasted effort. It was eternal investment. You weren't just being tested. You were being trusted. Every quiet moment of surrender, every battle you pushed through, every night you stayed faithful. None of it was forgotten. It was all preparation for this rise. And when that moment comes, it won't feel unfamiliar. It will feel like home. The pressure of the world will drop off your shoulders in an instant, replaced by a peace that surpasses language. No more fear, no more delay, no more limitation, just pure presence, complete, eternal, and undeniable. The world may not understand what's happening. They'll reach for explanations. They'll try to make sense of the sudden absence of those who lived differently, spoke differently, loved differently, but you'll already be beyond explanation, caught up in the reality you never stopped waiting for. And while the earth trembles under the weight of its own confusion, you'll be standing in the clarity of fulfillment. This isn't a warning meant to frighten. It's a promise meant to ready you. You weren't called just to endure this life. You were made to rise beyond it, not to escape hardship, but to enter glory. What's coming is not the loss of everything. It's the revelation of why you held on.